Hi, it's Trey Passer. This is my review of Marvel's episode Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode 3. This one is called, what's it called? Friends and Influencing People. Okay, I kind of missed the beginning of it because I was watching The Flash, but I came in, basically the gist of this story is that they're trying to get Donnie Gill, who, you remember, he was the smart guy at the S.H.I.E.L.D. Academy that where Fitz and Simmons went, and he was the young engineer that had built that device, that weather device. And remember, he had got struck by lightning, I think, and he acquired the ability to freeze things. Okay, so obviously Hydra is after him, and they show various instances where Hydra comes at him and he's freezing people left and right. I mean, freezing people and killing them, just to keep Hydra away from him. And he's on the run. They show him in Morocco, I think, and of course, Coulson finds that out, and he wants to get to Donnie Gill before Hydra does. Okay, and or if you can't do that, to take him out. Okay, and the snarky Brit is kind of asking, making conversation with Sky and asking her if she ever killed anybody on a mission, and of course she says no, she hasn't done that. And May's, helping her with her shooting and stuff and make sure she keep up. I think she's wearing a watch to keep track of her heart rate when she shoots. Okay, and they actually go to visit Ward again. So Agent Ward does show up again, and they ask him. Sky, of course, has to be the one to see him, and she asks him if how does Hydra operate, and he tells them how Hydra operates. How they try to acquire an asset. If they can't get that asset, they'll terminate him. Okay, so she passes that along, and of course, Ward is still trying to get this guy by saying, I'm never going to lie to you," and usual snarky BS. Anyway, and then you find where Simmons has been. She's been working for Hydra, of course, and of course, we find out later when Coulson shows up at her apartment, of course, that she's undercover. Okay, but she hasn't met anybody top level yet, but he's kind to encourage her to make friends, and that's the way you cultivate your cover and stuff. Okay, and then of course she tries it, but of course she actually gets brought up into the head office security, and they find out, of course, that she used to work for S.H.I.E.L.D. and she kind of tries to bluff her way, saying that she's only doing this for the science, and they say, well, it's good, you'll get a chance to prove yourself. And they later, no, anyway, well, they're searching. S.H.I.E.L.D. is on their way to, because they found out a ship that Donnie Gill actually froze the ship to keep it in place. And Hydra's coming there after him, and S.H.I.E.L.D. is on their way to get him. Okay, and then later, Fitz finds out, and he said he's still having trouble with his memory, of course, because he's permanently brain damaged, and then he finds out, he reads about Donnie Gill and how Hydra's after him, and he's on the run, and he says he should be the one to go with them. And Matt, who's the only one that can really kind of relate to him, and talk to him, he can interpret his. Tell him, don't worry about it. You are doing something by being here. And then later, Fitz actually finds out after the S.H.I.E.L.D. leaves, the rest of the team leaves to try to get Donnie Gill, that Ward is still alive. And that first scene with him, when you're seeing Ward there, is really heartbreaking, because Fitz he just breaks down, just really, really breaks down. Okay, and just and he basically he starts tells him this is struggles to tell him this is what you did to me, and he actually telling him you deprive me of oxygen in the brain and stuff, and what the effects is, and then he starts lowering the oxygen in the containment tank that Ward is in. Okay, and then later you see there's a confrontation on the ship, and Agent May actually it looks like they want Hydra wants, since Simmons knows Donnie Gill, to confront him and confront him on the ship so they can take him. And the British bad guy for Hydra, who tells her she has to say the specific word when she's talking to him. And then later we find out from Ward, because he actually told Fitz that Hydra actually has brainwashed because they infiltrated, they had infiltrated the fridge where Donnie Gill was, and they actually brainwashed him. And so for later, they gave, I guess, a post-hypnotic suggestion. I guess that's what you call it. So that way they can go, so they can go and turn once they give him that word, he'll be on their side, automatically. And of course, S.H.I.E.L.D. shows up, and the Snarky Brits gets shot by Agent May for two reasons. One, to get paid back for him shooting them. I think, was it last week? I think it was last week when he was trying to kill Creel. But this time they also to maintain Simmons' cover, because he's getting ready to shoot Simmons actually. So Agent May shoots him, and then of course she fires a warning shot so they can start running. And then, but the British agent does manage to turn Donnie Gill with the phrase, and he tells them to freeze the ship to lock everybody in there. To freeze, keep everybody locked in there while they make their escape. And then you see, of course, S.H.I.E.L.D. above with her little sniper scope, and she actually shoots Donnie Gill, and he falls into the water. But I noticed that when he falls into the water, of course, dead, icy water, he actually you see him freezing. He actually freezes. So I think he's still alive, and Donnie Gill will probably show up later in the season somewhere. So, even though everybody thinks he's dead, but I think he's still alive. He just froze himself. I guess maybe to heal himself, he just froze himself. And you see him, float away. And then Sky fires a fake warning shot at Simmons, and actually at the fake British guy, so Simmons can pretend to save him and maintain a cover. Okay, and then later you see in the episode the Nazi guy who's been actually, I forgot one part of it. The Nazi guy has been torturing, I guess working. I don't know. I guess this was just a random person he was torturing to I guess doing mind control on her. And then later you see in the episode she does comply, and she's handing these papers and thanking him, and then leaving. So he's fully confident that whatever he's he can do that mind control thing on people. And then later the other British bad guy who's with Simmons comes to him and said, listen, there's a former agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., Simmons, that I want to bring upstairs. And he said, do you trust? He said, I have complete faith in you. You trust her, right? He said, I do, but in case she doesn't, we can always persuade her, brainwash her. And that's how. But also there was another tidbit that I forgot to mention. The second time Sky visited Ward, he told, listen, I always said I'm going to be honest with you. And he told, and I think they had a conversation where he said, listen, I wasn't brainwashed. I did everything of my own free will. And I wasn't loyal to Hydra. I was loyal to, Bill Paxton's character, which I forget his name. But anyway, he tells her, listen, your father's alive, and when the time is right, I can take you to him. So, he drops that off bombshell on her, and then she immediately freaks out and leaves immediately. But you can tell that affected her. That he said he knows her father's alive and he's looking for her. So you can tell that affected her. Okay, and I think how it ends. I think that's pretty much how it ends. Okay. Oh yeah, no. I think it just ends with Simmons. With the British guy saying that if Simmons doesn't, she's not loyal, we can always make her comply or brainwash her, and that's how it goes off. This was a good episode. Like I said, you find out. I mean, Simmons was undercover. She didn't turn. Okay, and I did love the best part moments of that was when Fitz first saw Ward, and he just totally freaked out and was just hyperventilating and just couldn't, really. He just lost it for a good 2 minutes, just freaking out that Ward was there, because obviously he didn't know that Ward was there, and they kept him alive. Oh yeah, there's one thing. Coulson at the end, he did come to Fitz at the end and told him, yeah, you're still a valuable part of this team, and yes, we need Ward, to get information, fighting this war with Hydra, we need him just to, we'll use him just to get this information, okay? And which I thought was an honest conversation. They said we're going to use them, so it's what it is. So overall, like I said, I'm going to give this episode I'll give it a 7. It was decent. You know, or maybe I should give it a 6.5. Maybe 7's too high. It wasn't great, standing, you know. But, Sky does know her father's alive now, or at least if she believes Ward, her father, and the way she reacted, she believes it. Okay, so we'll find out, hopefully that storyline will progress in the future episodes. Anyway, let me know what you think of episode 3 of this review. Please feel free to leave comments down below, and if you like this review, please hit the subscribe button down below. And this is Trey Pastor saying so long and take care.